And we are live. Good evening, everyone. Thank you for joining us tonight. It's 5:30 in Melbourne. Thank you for finding some time this evening to join our live discussion. Please remember to introduce yourselves in the comments and let us know which city or country you're joining us today. Isolation is over in Melbourne. Yay! So, now we kind of feel as human as everyone else in Australia. So please make sure introduce yourself in the comments and let us know where you're joining us from. So tonight we are going to talk about top tips for leveraging your LinkedIn company page. And Chris is going to share with us what are the benefits of actually having company page. And even if you're a really small business and only have a few employees, and also top tips of like getting results with the LinkedIn company pages. Because I'm sure there is not that many people actually leveraging their LinkedIn company pages, and not everyone actually has created company page yet. So overall, today's discussion is about understanding what role LinkedIn can play for you in this, changing world when staying connected online with your clients and professional community is more important than ever. So, these days, obviously, if your business is not online, it doesn't exist. So we all know it's an incredibly relevant topic in COVID normal. So please make sure tag or share with your friends who need to hear this information. Before I'll pass it over to Chris to introduce himself, I just want to quickly remind you that we're going live on LinkedIn, Facebook, and YouTube. So to watch replays, the easiest way to go to the YouTube channel or follow live with Yana on LinkedIn. So I'm going live every Wednesday at 5:30 p.m. Melbourne time with various experts from my network talking about all the things effective communication, LinkedIn, personal branding, and content marketing. So we are going to answer all your questions from all the platform tonight. We'll try to cover all the questions. And so make sure if you have a question at any time, just put it in the comments, no matter what platform you are using, YouTube, LinkedIn, or Facebook, and we'll definitely get back to you. And also make sure you stay till the end, because the most active participants will also receive a nice surprise at the end of the stream. So we have a few people here. Matthew's here. Pauline is here. Audio's not working. Guys, let me know if only John have problem with the audio, or if you're experiencing some problem with the audio as well. Sometimes LinkedIn playing up as well. So please let me know in the comments if you can hear me on other platforms rather than the LinkedIn, or if you're watching on LinkedIn, if you can hear me on LinkedIn. So anyway, I'll pass it over to Chris to introduce himself.
Okay, hi everyone. Yes, so Chris Dobbin from Cube Social, your local social media marketer, and obviously I've been working in social media for the last decade and a half, but I've been doing branding and marketing for a lot longer than that. So, originally a Ballarat boy, moved down to Melbourne, studied, worked on a number of campaigns with Mars and Yellow Pages, and as you can see there, was around the agency when we launched the Me Bank as well. So it's not really popular at the moment because of some of the things it did this year with COVID, but that was around when it first started. So they're the kind of things, and obviously formed Cube and got into what we're doing now. But LinkedIn, as I said, the topic you've asked me to talk about tonight, Yana, I was quite excited about talking about this one because it's a little known nugget that a lot of people don't know how to use properly. And hopefully by the end of this, we'll demystify that and people will understand that the LinkedIn company page could be something that benefits their business. Doesn't matter how small or large you are. So looking forward to what we unfold tonight.
And I think you have a few pictures of the family here as well.
Yeah. So
how many kids do you have?
I actually have twin girls. They're identical girls, Phoebe and Penelope, and my little boy Jack, and my partner Sharon, and another daughter who's in her 20s, TJ. So yes, I have 4. Been busy.
There we go. It's 4 more than I have.
Well, that explains the grey hair in me and you looking beautiful and blonde. So there you go.
So guys saying that actually audio is good. Thank you guys for the feedback. So John, if you still experience a problem with audio, might be something with LinkedIn, unfortunately. Ravi is here with us as well. Thank you guys for introducing yourself in the comments. And let's dig into the topic. So the first question we want to ask you, actually, do you have a LinkedIn company page? Because you might be self-employed and you're thinking like, oh, do I really need another page, or is it just enough to have a personal profile as well? Or you might have a small business and you just feel like, oh, is it too much time to have another page? And do I need to post on them both? All these questions might coming to your mind at the moment. So let us know, do you have actually LinkedIn company page, and have you been using it so far? So Chris, over to you. Why we actually need the LinkedIn company page?
Well, actually, just for starters on what you just said then, most people don't understand that when you go to your profile page, it's got the little icons next to the company that you work for, or the university you've been to, all those kind of things. If you don't have the company page set up, then that icon won't sit there, and you lose that branding opportunity and that credibility opportunity to actually show that your company has a logo and an icon. So just off the bat, it doesn't matter what size business you are or if you're an individual, that credibility that icon could give you is a straight off the mark of someone going, okay, well, there's something there. Maybe I need to go deeper and have a look at what you do there. But it's more about also like credibility and opportunities to provide a PR exercise that people may need to find out more about your company, or to be bigger, not just be about you, the individual. If you look at how you think about Facebook, people use you've got your private page, and then you have maybe a page for your business. It works very similar in a LinkedIn environment, where we're providing an opportunity to show that you've got a company page. And then, as I've said on the first tip there, you can see it's about brand perception. So people will perceive you are a credible business and you're a little bit bigger if you have this set up. And as I said, it doesn't matter whether you're a solopreneur and it's only you. You can use the company page for company type announcements and things like that. And you can use your private profile for more private things, where you want to be more personal, more intimate with what you're doing. And the company can be more about a broader audience, or a more niched audience that you're trying to target. So it's, again, just getting your head around how to strategize that.
Actually, I might bring it to the screen. It's a really good point you mentioned about actually losing the audience and then click on your profile, because if I go to my profile, and I think it's a really good example here, and we see that if you go to my experience and you see the video conference coach, you can actually click and it will take to my company page. Yeah,
that's right. So,
but if you go like down, and because I did a lot of photography workshops before, I didn't have any page set up for this part of the business, and it actually says here self-employed. So, and if actually people click on self-employed, they just start browsing other people. So you're actually losing traffic from your page straight away. So obviously, if you can set up, page for kind of each of your experience, so people don't actually go somewhere else, that's also will be beneficial, because if you put self-employed, people just go browsing around.
Couldn't have said it better myself. Well done. Yeah, no, that's a fantastic point. That's again what I was trying to highlight. So thanks for showing that example. Couldn't have highlighted better. So yeah, so what the next thing? I don't have the list in front of me there, but
yes, sir. Yeah, the benefits.
So the benefits. So most businesses aren't in a position to do a lot of public relation type stuff, but if you think about it in a public relation way, like I said earlier, an individual has certain things they would like to announce, but it's usually intimate and it's about you. But when you want to create a company environment, you can make yourself sound bigger by putting those kind of announcements in the company page. And it actually makes sense to put it there, where doing it on your individual page may not get as much clout because it's sort of self-promotion. By putting it in the other thing, and you can always talk in the third person in that way. You can actually go to the company page and say, Yana is announcing a new event and it's upcoming, and it's like you can talk that way, and it's like the company is promoting you rather than yourself promoting yourself, and it's sort of a way to separate that world. And for some people, that may be just the psychology break they need to actually understand how to promote themselves in a different medium and go about it that way. So the next one we have on the list, which is reaching your target markets. Now, this is an interesting one. When you're using social media marketing, you really should understand who you're targeting. So if you know you've got different segments and different niches, there is a place on your company page where you can actually choose where different posts go to. So if you wanted to get one post to go to, I guess, like an education area, then that's where it would go. And if you want one to go to students, you could do that. So you can have the education, the scholars and all them see those kind of posts. And if you just wanted your students of your university to see that, then they see those kind of things, as an example of how you can separate your content so that it's not irrelevant to the person viewing the content that's coming through to them. And later on, we'll obviously talk about that in more detail as the examples are showing that. This is a really interesting one with SEO. Company pages get a lot of clout with Google. They are happy for that to be updated and use that because they're kind of looking at, that company as being credible and reliable, and they want to see that content, and they will use that to match up with other content that's sitting somewhere else on your website or other social pages, and it gives you an SEO opportunity. Also, we touched on this a little bit earlier when we were talking, Jana, about hashtags. So those hashtags become key things like keywords that people will use to actually create a way to get to your page. So again, for an SEO side of things, if you're trying to improve your SEO, that may be another key element to engaging on that front. The next thing that we'll talk about in more detail later on is showcase pages. A lot of people don't realize that if you're a company and you're launching a new product or a new department or a new, I know, maybe even a person, you can create what they call a showcase page. And then that showcase page can then become a campaign, and you can run everything around just that one topic. But people can, I guess when there's something relevant going on in the news and you want to follow that stream of that news item, this is the same thing for that. You can actually get people to focus on that one product or that one item that you're trying to get people to follow, and it's separated from the company page, but you can interlink them. So it's fantastic. And that leads to what's next after that, which is lead generation. So if you're trying to separate an opportunity to create leads, if you have a showcase page, you can funnel it through that area, and that will hopefully lead to more opportunity because you're niching. And if you niche, it's more likely to convert because you're going to a target audience that is getting one message, not multiple messages, and they're more likely to convert from that kind of situation. And then most importantly, you're going to get analytics. So what's different between company pages and your personal profile is that, yes, the personal profile shows you people may have viewed your page and things like that, but this is actually more broader than that, and you get more data on a company page, which is going to be more valuable to, like what I said earlier, about targeting the audience and then getting a higher response rate to the posts that you're doing. So they're the key benefits from where we are at the moment. But obviously, as we talk further, we'll go deeper into each one of those with examples, because we're going to show some examples later. So, yeah.
Everyone's silent about do they actually have a LinkedIn company page? Because if you're silent, guys, does it mean it's no?
I'm assuming that's a no.
Please.
Yeah. Which is
if
not a surprise.
No, please put no in the comments.
and that's what I would
actually know. That we actually know that no means no, or yes means yes, and you just not just waiting for us to continue and see what else is coming. So because we're gonna run you through some examples. So, and if you don't have a LinkedIn company page, maybe those examples will give you more ideas about how you can actually use it and why would you spend time actually setting it up. So yeah, here we go. Yes, I don't have a company page. Sandra doesn't have a company page. Nicole said yeah. Yes.
Chris, Nicole, full disclaimer, is a previous client of mine, so appreciate her being here tonight. But she is an example of someone who I've worked on this exact side of strategies we're talking about tonight to get the benefit of a page like this. So yeah.
Matthew saying that only personal page. Yeah.
Yeah, but that's an example. Most people are more comfortable with that because it's about them and it's their page and things like that. And I guess each individual's strategy is going to be very different. But what I guess we highlighted with what you showed earlier, Jana, that if you don't have your company page, you don't end up with that little icon, and that can be a difference between credibility of, is this business really active, and is it really corporate? Is it big enough to work with? They're the kind of things that take some of those barriers away that people may have if they don't see that icon. But we can, again, we'll show examples of that later on in this conversation. So, yeah.
Yeah, I guess let's just dive in straight to the examples, because it's one thing talking about it, but another thing just actually showing people what they can do with LinkedIn company page.
That's right.
So I do have an example here. We'll take as example one of my clients. Haven't been extremely optimizing the company page.
Yep.
There will be good exercise for both of us. So
Exactly.
Here we go. So
yeah. So actually, what I'm going to start with first here is the logo and the banner at the top. So people are familiar with this with Facebook. You can do something very similar to this. And if you did this with your business, it's going to be your picture on the left, and it's going to say your name, and then it'll have this enable smarter enterprises, right? But it's the individual. So they're going to do business with that person. But when you're kind of trying to work out, are they credible? Who do they work with? Who are they working for? That's when this company page can come in and separate that from you being the individual and what your company represents and its culture and what it's all about, and who else are you working with. That's sort of, again, an instant differentiation between you, the individual, and your company, and this shows that off. So yeah. The thing we talked about earlier is you'll notice underneath at the very top it says home, content, news, analytics, activity, right? These are things that you, again, don't get a lot of on an individual page. You have some of this data, but it's not quite there. With the content stream, I think this client, we've talked about this earlier, it doesn't actually have it, but if it did...
I'll go to mine. Mine, so we can show it on mine. So we can go to my company page. Yeah, my company page still looks quite personal.
But that's a personal brand, so it's different. But what you are doing is separating you, the individual, and the actual coaching side of what you do. That's what I like about the different approach you've got here. This is what we wanted to see, is that if your hashtags are relevant to a particular type of thing, you can see trending articles here and they come to you. So you can find ways to repurpose this content and become a thought leader, or your company can become a thought leader by repurposing this content and putting your spin on it or your comment on it. So if something's trending, you could follow that trend and attach your brand to it. And again, that's something that you have to, as I said, this client and yourself, you're not using it actively, but if you were, this content that's coming up here would be more relevant to video marketing and what you're doing. And then you'd be able to not have to go look for content. It would be coming to you. You can also see up the top there.
Kamala been really popular. Really popular in my...
I think she's achieved a bit lately, so she might be relevant to what's going on. And you are a woman yourself, so I'm sure that's where they've linked the two and said, thought leadership. So, but as you can see on the right-hand side, you can personalize that content and nurture that content. So you obviously you're doing what you're doing there. But the other thing too, while you're there, again, when I talked about targeted audiences, actually, just if you keep that up, what you had before, Jana, we'll just talk about it. Under your name, you'll see that it says anyone. So if you posted that, it would just go to anyone. But what you can see here is you can go deeper and you can actually nurture the target audience to who you individually want this to go to. And you can choose, okay, I'm trying to target someone by a language, a job function, a university, their industry. This is where you can make this LinkedIn company page work a lot more powerful for you, because it's actually targeting an audience that you want to get your message in front of, rather than just everyone. And that's where you can make this, customized to the audience you want to talk to. And we all know that if you're receiving content that's more relevant to you, you're more likely to respond positively to it, and you're more likely to click on the link or go to the place that this company is telling you to go. And that's where you can get that interaction going. And most clients I work with, it's not about how many times people can see you. It's about how many times they see and engage, because the engagement's the important part. You want to know what you're sending out is relevant and people are actually enjoying what they're seeing and they want to tell you. And engage by clicking or commenting or sharing it is the ultimate goal of getting someone to share it for you on your behalf. So yeah, but on the right hand side there, you can see, yep.
So,
you don't
sorry,
have to pay for
sorry. Yeah,
no, you
there is
don't.
no, yeah.
Yeah, Helen.
It's free. You can set it up as many company pages as you want. For if you have a few businesses, you can set it up. It's free.
Exactly. Yeah. And Helen, actually, I do know who Helen is. Helen, being a bookkeeper, she is a good example of someone that could strategize her LinkedIn company page to have those showcase pages to talk about BAS or right now we've got COVID relief stuff. We've got the JobKeeper. She could be running campaigns around those particular pages. She could still post them on her company page as the business that she's running, but she could also strategize it by pushing out content that's relevant to each of the streams I've just highlighted there. So again, something for someone to think about. If you want to go there, this is just an example. You go to admin tools on the right-hand side there at the very top, and you'll see there, create a showcase page is right there. And then you simply choose the topic you want to showcase, and it just becomes an extension of the in this case, the IT company, the Fastlane IT guys. They would go down that pathway. But yourself, you've got different video topics, different things you could niche on, and you could create different streams for that content and use your top level page as the one you do, but then have people follow those secondary pages. Again, it's not for everybody. As I said, it's just for certain people who have this opportunity to create it. The showcase page can become quite relevant to you. So that is that part of it. We didn't go into the analytics, but if you want to quickly on the analytics there, you'll see that you can actually, like a website, you can see who's visiting. You can actually, if you want to click on that, you can actually see the types of people that are visiting, when they've been there, whether they're on mobiles. And most importantly, as you can see, as you're scrolling down there, you can see some demographics around the types of people that are coming to your site. So if you're trying to run a campaign or create more content, you can have a look at who's following you and go, okay, in this case, engineering is clearly something that's relevant to this client. They would do more engineering type content because that would be more relevant to their audience. And if they wanted to get more into the human resources, which is a bit lower down there, then they'd look at maybe, like I said earlier, targeting and creating content, but only human resource content to that audience to try to bump those numbers up and get more people following this page. But again, it does come down to your social media strategy, who you're trying to target and why you're doing it and how you want them to respond. That's really key to making these pages successful for you. So what have we got next on our list?
We have a like whole list of
we do have a big list here. So here's our top 10 tips for leveraging your LinkedIn company page. As I've touched on, run alongside your personal profile. In the benefit of that, I think I highlighted earlier by saying, let's look at how you treat your personal, as if like Facebook, you would do personal things on Facebook, and then on a company page, you would do more company type things. In LinkedIn, works exactly the same strategy. It's just it's a B2B relationship. It's a little bit different. So your personal profile generally doesn't have pictures of you doing breakfast and going out with friends or whatever the case be. It's not that kind of thing on LinkedIn. You're more likely to show what your personal corporate lifestyle is. But there are things that you do that are more company related or a little bit more corporate that you would like to put somewhere, but it seems a bit naff to put it on your own page. This is when the company page would become relevant, and you would put the more, campaign style or more corporate-y content and messaging. So what do we got here?
We have a question from Roger asking, if you have multiple staff, can you give honest permission, different directors within the firm, or just the person that created can see the analytics? So I think we can actually demonstrate it here as well for Roger. Because, for example, I'm an admin of this page, and you can tell that, posted by Anna Martins, but I'm actually, not an employee of this company. I'm just managing the LinkedIn page.
But you see that because you're
Yep. Yeah. And I can see analytics for all the content. Yep.
Yeah, so with regards to that, yes, you can have multiple team members managing this page, and then obviously, as you've highlighted, you can see who's posting what content and give that across to the different people. But that does raise, which may be one tip that's down later on, but you'll see there notify employees. So if you scroll down, you'll see there it's got notify employees. So if you've got a really strong culture in your company and people like in this case, they've got 11 employees, if you'd had a staff meeting or a Zoom meeting and you talked about what you're going to be doing over the next month with your marketing and how you're going to go about things, it would be great if you had told staff members that you're going to click this button, they're going to get a notification, and then instruct them on how to share and market to their audiences. Okay, because that's where knowing, like, they will get that notification, but if they just got the notification and they don't have anything to do with it, then that's not going to really do you a lot. What I would highly recommend is that you would have a chat with your staff members and say, you're going to get a notification. What we want you to do now is then share that content and put your spin on that and say, this is what our company is doing, whatever the case be. And so your audience becomes the company's audience, and that sort of viral effect of multiple people seeing it and in different ways. And we all know it's like recommendations with how it works on Facebook and a bunch of things. If I said to you, Yana, hey, go look at Fastlane Solutions, they're a great IT company, you're more likely to do that because of our relationship and how we've got to know each other. So you would trust what I'm saying and go have a look, which is a lot more credible than the company coming to you and saying, we're a great company, come have a look at us. It just, it doesn't have as much credibility to it. So another reason why personal profile and having a company profile are very good at getting a strategy that can get people following your company and then have that viral effect going back down to the personal profile. So, yeah. Like I've just talked about, aligning it with your digital strategy. So, your LinkedIn company page shouldn't be just everything you do. It actually should align with all the other digital strategies you're going with. But it's definitely a key in the puzzle that a lot of people aren't using and aren't using effectively. But have a look at some of the bigger companies and you'll see that generally what they do is it's all about the company and the people inside the company. They're the ones sharing the content that the bigger company is sort of managing and nurturing the message that the company is trying to get out there, and then letting the personal views come out through the individuals down at a lower level. Obviously, we've talked about creating an effective page and some of those things you can do, but defining your audience and your targets is really key to how to get the success out of what we're talking about, because if you don't know who you're talking to, it's going to be really hard to understand what content to come up with and why you're doing it and who to target. So you need to sit down and have some discussions amongst your team members and your audience, and just think about who you need to talk to and when and how often, and what different messages you should be putting across. In many cases, it's what you're putting on your blog, but putting it into this and just repurposing that content. So it's understanding what's on your website and then giving a second life inside this area. As we touched on the fifth one there, it's talking about your encouraging employee advocacy. So it's just getting them to understand the value of what that message is going to do and how they're valued an employee, and what they're going to say and how they're going to tell others about what your company is doing is going to be relevant to help them make your message more believable, and also, I guess, get a better response because it's coming from an individual you trust because they're part of your network. That's generally how that's going to work. Using rich media now. If only I knew someone who could do videos. If only I knew someone, hey, Yana? Yes. So, if someone was working with you or working with you to get them to know how to do content better, then they're going to get a better experience. And that's another thing to understand is you do need a bit of shade here. You need like black and white sort of type stuff where you're doing some posts that are just text. Sometimes it's a photo. Sometimes it's sharing content from other websites, and then video to break it up and get the engagement that you need to do. So yes, here I am. Whoa, there's all that me there. So yeah, so you can see here.
Here we go.
That's an example. So if you want to just go back up.
And then the page. Yeah.
No, I was just going to say, like the example of what you did there was you have a couple of static photos, and the moment the video came in, all of a sudden your senses kicked in. You're like, hang on, I want to see movement and I want to do something. And you want to click that play button, or you want to turn the audio on. It's that's just human nature. It's just the moment we see something moving, we're like a moth to a flame, we want to click on it. So mixing your content up is a great strategy. And as you can see here. So that's that one. how are we going for time? I don't want to get to the big hurrah.
We up to the half an hour, so I think we did cover majority of the tips. So guys, make sure ask the questions. So if you have any questions, make sure ask them, because we finish the main theory part. So if you have any questions, it's a good time to ask. So Pauline is actually have a question. I found right now that LinkedIn created a company page for me, but it's not letting me claim it. How do you get around that?
Yeah, so, well, what Pauline would be finding is that there is a little notification under it that you can claim it. You just need to contact them and go through that support ticket approach. It's not fun. I'm not going to lie to you. It's something that will take a bit of time to get to, but I have been able to do it many times. And you just have to wait for them to respond and then go through it. It's unfortunate with these types of these websites that you are one of millions, so it's not like you get an instant response, but they're pretty good. They have got a lot better over the years, so just be patient with that. But I do know Pauline, so you can always shout out to me, Pauline. We have spoken in the past, so I may be able to help you out quickly in that linking of that. But yeah, if just on that, we'll go to this one then. Yeah.
So just a quick one for Wendy. Yes, there is a recording will be available for this. The recording, you can watch it on replay on LinkedIn, or the easiest way, just go to my YouTube channel, because obviously it's easier to watch videos on the YouTube. And don't forget to subscribe. Here we go. Here's my chance to remind everyone to subscribe to my YouTube channel.
Yeah. So, yeah. So what I was about to say was, hang on. No, you don't need to register a business to have a company. You don't need an ABN or anything like that. It's just more helpful because it's credible. But you don't need an ABN to create a company page. But if you think about
maybe we should show. Yeah. Oh, sorry, I keep interrupting you. Yeah, but maybe we should show where people can, because I guess a few people on the line don't have a company page. So where we actually create company page. So if I go to my profile, I actually forgot, to be honest.
That's right. Roll over yourself. Actually, I think it's right behind your logo on the screen you're sharing. So you can see it, but we won't be able to. But behind your logo up the top right there next to, there we go. Work.
Here we go.
Yeah, click that.
Yep.
Scroll to the bottom and you'll see
create company page. Here we go, guys. So everyone can click on this work button, create company page. And that's LinkedIn give you some sort of options here. What sort of LinkedIn company page you want to create? Maybe Chris, you give us a quick advice on this as well. So about, obviously it's self-explanatory, I guess. It's bigger UI.
Click on the small business one. You'll just see that it's like exactly the same as when you're setting up a Facebook page. You go through the thing of just naming it, giving a URL. So that you can put your website in, select your industry. As I said, it's an extension of yourself, but in this case, it's for the company. And it's got taglines. It's got the logo. It's a credibility thing. You should look at it as an extension of your website, and it's another place for people to. When I work with a number of clients, I say, look, you've built your website. That's Rome. What we try to do with social media is try to build the roads back to Rome, and you do that through these kind of mechanisms. And this is a great example of that. But many of the people who are viewing this tonight would be familiar with Facebook and having their own profile and then having a company page. It's the same concept. It's just this is more of a B2B relationship. So you're going to be a bit more professional about the way you go about the relationship you have on LinkedIn, where in Facebook you might be a little bit more fun, might have a different approach to it. Again, it comes down to the type of business you're running and the type of strategy you're running for digital. But that's the basic gist of it, is that it's very similar to those that are familiar with Facebook. So, yeah.
Nicole actually have quite a specific question. What about audio clips? I work on the radio, and I would love to know how to share that, and whatever it would be as a useful video.
So here's an awesome tip that I've done for a bunch of people, and I do, full disclaimer, I do know Nicole as well. And with Nicole, what I suggest you do, and this is a tip, open up PowerPoint, throw in the audio, put up a nice picture, click export, and export it as a movie, and you're done. Like, it's that simple. So if you want to come up with an audio that is visual, like a video, just throw the audio into PowerPoint, put a nice graphic behind it, and export it out as a movie. And now you have a video that goes up onto all your social media, and you can put it out there. And that's a tip I've done for a number of people who have done blogs or they've done a podcast or something like that. And they just needed a quick fix to get a video that looks, a visual. That is one way to do it very quickly, very cheaply. And yes, you can send the checks in the mail for that one once you've saved so much time looking around how to do it. So hopefully that helps you.
I didn't know it. I love this tip. That's perfect. So even and it will play right on your LinkedIn page, so you don't actually need to leave LinkedIn to listen to it.
Yeah, for sure.
And I think it answered Matthew's question, because Matthew have a similar question. Can you put links to podcasts on your company page? Obviously, you can put the link to your podcast, or you can just do exactly what Chris just suggested us to do, as extracting it as a movie from the PowerPoint.
And there are plenty of free clips online that have the little animated audio thing. So you can download that and also whack that into your PowerPoint and just click repeat, what do you call it, loop on the little audio. So it's got the audio jumping up and down, and then it looks like you're like a TV station and they're talking, and that's making the thing jump, even though it's just a fake one, but it looks real, and you've got it going. So and the thing about that,
money here.
Yeah, but once you've done that, you realize that now is a video. So you know that video can be put onto all the socials, and it can be put into YouTube. So it's a great way to get that out there without having to spend the big bucks on. I put Jana and myself out of a job now, but that's something we live and learn.
But it's vice versa as well. So, for example, when we're doing a live stream like this, and we already have a video, but I can also download the only audio from our conversation as well. And from all my live streams that I've been running for like last half a year, I can actually repurpose them into the podcast as well if I choose to. Or at the moment, I'm just repurposing them into the blog posts as well. So then it's kind of closing this repurposing loop. So it's not only video that sits there. You can grab a screenshots from the video as well. Really easy things to do. Grab a screenshot from the video, post it on the LinkedIn, and maybe say you can watch the whole presentation on my website, or whole presentation on the YouTube channel. So there is a lot of obviously ways how you can loop and repurpose the content.
And that's the key, and that's what I want to really highlight, is it's repurposing content. But and no one wants to always sit down and watch the whole thing unless they're ready to sit down and do that. So it's a good thing to know how to export. And we talked about this, Jana, yourself. And know it's finding the time to do it, but finding 30-second outtakes to tease people into listening to what you're doing. So I'd highlight for Nicole even, what you may do is only take out 30 seconds of the outtakes of that interview you're doing on the radio, put that into this format that we've just talked about, but then have links back to your radio station so that they can go hear the whole interview or what was going on. So you can use social media as a lead generator to get traffic back to where you want them to go. So another way to
it's exactly what we're doing with Fastlane at the moment. So we run a live panel discussions and like a live events. And then we repurposing. So this is just a bit from our live event. And then you can see here, so people can go and watch the full discussion here. And we can bring people back to the website or back to YouTube channel. So, and then that's another snapshot from like our discussion. And then again, people go and watch full presentation here. Yeah. So like it's
just on that, I know
exactly this repurposing.
Yeah, but just on that, one thing you can do with some of these things too is and you have done it there, where you're highlighting the people who are mentioned or showing in this video. Like that is another great way to get that buy-in, because you're mentioning that person to get them to follow your company page because you're highlighting these people. So you're using their profile and their audience to drag them in to this. So when you said Chris Dobbin is going to be showing up tonight, I know a bunch of my friends that follow me on LinkedIn were interested in what was going on and came across your page because of you shouting out to me. And that's another thing you can do with your network and your audience, and benefit from using a company page rather than being your individual page. And you can even shout out to yourself. You can, on your own company page, you can say, hey, I'm Chris and Jana, and come and look at my whatever page it is. So yeah, another great idea.
I think I've been tagging myself sometimes there, but not always, maybe.
Yes,
every now and again.
Yeah. So are we there? Is there...
yeah, so 40 minutes. So maybe just a few other main points to wrap it up. Did we go through all the benefits here? Did we mention everything? I guess analytics is better on the company page as well.
Yeah. And we didn't talk about sponsoring or ad campaigns, but that's another reason for using your company page, is that sometimes you want to promote the company rather than the individual. Again, it comes down to the type of campaign, the type of audience you're trying to target, but sometimes it's better to have a company represent the ad rather than the individual. And that could be another way you can separate it. And as I highlighted earlier, if you've targeted your audience properly, you actually know that that ad is going to get in front of the right people and get the message you're trying to get across from that. So it's just another thing, using the analytics to understand who you're targeting and who's actually following your page can make your campaign relevant, more successful, and highly engaging, which is really important to get over that mindset that people have about LinkedIn, that they're not getting the responses they want or the engagement they want. And it's usually because your targeting is off and it's just hitting everybody, where with a company page, we can get more niche and more targeted, which should get a higher response. It may not get the big numbers you want because your business isn't followed by millions of people, but I'd rather get in front of 10 people who may buy me than get in front of 100 that won't. It just doesn't make sense. I'd rather get in front of those 10 that are more interested. And that's really what you're trying to do. So, yeah.
I guess the other question we want to ask you guys as well, do you have a LinkedIn strategy for your employees? For example, if you have already created a company page and you have employees, so Chris mentioned about it before, like when you're notifying employees, do they actually know what to do? And it is sometimes quite interesting topics in terms of employees can be really confused as well what they need to post, if they should run their profile as just their personal profile or if they should follow the company guidelines. So I think like if you are a small business, you need to really think about how you can engage your employees in this process to that everyone will benefit from it.
Yeah, exactly. And that can work in different ways. But if you are big enough to have departments, then that's when you can talk on that level. If you have different like key roles within your business, then you would use that company page that way as well to highlight to that individual, look, you're this department, you're targeting these people. So when you see these kind of posts, this is what we'd like you to do. And then you tell the other staff members to either not interact with it, leave it alone, or tell them they have to comment on that person because that person's now the hero post and they want the engagement. So comment on that thing, whatever that thing is. So again, when I work with clients, I go into more detail and the strategies they can do, but because it does come down to customizing it for each individual. This is, yeah.
Quick question from Pauline. How to get the followers? Yeah, so I think we should show it.
If you bring us the company page, you see on the right-hand side. Yeah, so on the right-hand side, if you scroll up.
Here we go, here.
Yeah, so you'll notice it's no different to how you invite friends on Facebook. And you just go through and search.
Let me just go quickly to my page. So you have 100 credits per month. Every month you have invite 100 people. And if the person who accepts your invitation, they actually will follow you, they will give you another credit. So don't just click on the random 100 people from your following. Make sure to click the people who will actually follow because it will give you more credits as well. So for example, we can find Pauline here. Where's Pauline? Straight away, That's
all right. The benefit of live.
And quite one connection. Here we go. So
yeah.
Paulina will actually will get a notification from me.
Yep. So that's as simple as it is. As I said, the thing about LinkedIn is that they do steal a lot of the great ideas from Facebook. And if you're familiar with Facebook, then some of these things are going to come very natural to you. But like I guess keep coming back to, it does come down to your digital strategy. What is the audience you're trying to target? Who should you be inviting to your company page so that your company page becomes more relevant to the audience you're trying to communicate with? And I guess I've given you some options. If you've got a multitude of different people, there are showcase pages, there are different strategies, there's ways to target niches. So hopefully people can take out from tonight different ways to go about that and apply it to their business.
Obviously, we can talk forever about it because there is so many little tips and tricks that you can also use. And it's not only, features that you can use, but it also, as Chris keeps saying, it's coming back to your overall strategy as well. But definitely functions changing quite often as well. So, like LinkedIn introducing new features every now and again, so you can create events as well now, and you can create events as a company and as a personal profile. So there's new features coming up all the time. So obviously you're trying to keep up with the features, but remember your overall strategy and who you're targeting and what's actually the purpose of running this LinkedIn page. So we already hit the 45 minutes mark. So the most exciting part of the stream, a giveaway. That will be the hardest one, I think, in the history of Live with Yana. So usually there is a giveaway at the end where we're giving prize for the most active participants. Today, Chris has a strategy session that he's gonna give to the someone who has the most interesting, questions during our presentation. But oh my God, there's just so many. Chris, I'm not sure how you're gonna choose.
No, I'm having it's quite engaging.
I know what we will do. I know what we'll do, guys. So whoever is with us on the line and want to be in the strategy session with Chris, in the comments, put one thing that you learn from today's live stream, something that you can implement, tomorrow, or maybe you already implemented it while we were talking. So put in the comments one thing that you learned, your top tip from today's session, something you can implement, and as more tips you will put, there's more chance for you to get a giveaway from Chris. While you're doing this, while you're doing this, because it's a delay in the comments, so you might I need to give people 5 seconds to do so. While you guys putting your takeaways, I'll just takeaways. So I just want to remind you that I'm actually going live every Wednesday at 5:30 p.m. And next Wednesday, we're going to go live with Craig. And we're going to talk about how to build strong referral partnerships on LinkedIn. So how we concentrate on this, business connections, building the partnerships on LinkedIn. That's next Wednesday, 18th of November. And then the Wednesday after, we're going to talk with Megan about simple steps to create LinkedIn content strategies. So, if you're not sure what to post on LinkedIn and confused and waking up on Monday morning thinking like, oh my God, what should I post? So make sure to join us on the 25th of November with Megan. And week after, I'm gonna go live on LinkedIn to tell you how to go live on LinkedIn. How exciting. So I'm gonna interview myself live on LinkedIn to tell you how to go live on LinkedIn. So make sure tune into this session. I'm gonna also talk how to make your live LinkedIn is actually effective and grow your business through the LinkedIn Live. So we have a few comments coming up while I've been talking. Roger, looking at audience analytics from the business page. Mate is saying that I can boost my credibility tonight. Yes, tonight.
Great outtake. I'm really happy with that one. That's a good one. Yeah.
Claim my page and totally actually found out what I could have won.
That's awesome. That's why It's sharing the love tonight. It's all out there, which is good.
Repurposing content and snips from videos and teasers. That's a tip from me, yeah.
Well, the thing is, I know a few names out there, so I feel like I'm a bit biased if I pick something there. So I kind of need a random. How do we do this? Do I just go like that with my eyes and pick one and just see where I end up?
Oh, that's the hardest giveaway I've been given on this show.
Yeah. So do you want me to pick, or are you picking? I'm happy for you to pick.
Yeah, no, you're picking. We're trying to bounce into each other. Look, I like that Matty gonna implement it tonight. I like the attitude, he's gonna implement it tonight. But also, I like that Roger remember my tips too.
Roger will love that. Yes, I actually know Roger, by the way. So,
so we're not giving him a giveaway, Roger. Sorry.
I'm sorry, Roger. That's not my fault.
Maybe I give the Roger giveaway. Maybe Roger can have a strategy session with me, and Matty can have a strategy session with you. How about that?
That sounds fantastic. Let's do it that way. So hopefully, Maddie, look forward to catching up with you and finding out how we can build your credibility. And
we forgot. Sorry. Who's? I forgot the name. That's Pauline. So Pauline. So she watches us both on LinkedIn and.
Anyway, because I do know Pauline well enough.
Okay.
And I'll let her know because
cool.
been there with myself, and I hate it. I don't want people feeling like they can't get access to their page there. So hopefully I'll be able to help you with that one.
Perfect. Okay, so I think everyone's happy. So
yeah, we've made Roger laugh. I can see a smiley face there, so happy to hear that. Yes, so all good. Yeah, and Nicole was
last encouraging word from you, Chris.
Sorry, what was that?
Last encouraging word from you, Chris. So to wrap it up with motivational, inspirational quote for all the people who've been listening us tonight.
Yeah. Well, look, I actually like the one where I think it's the guy that invented the light bulb, where he says, "I've tried it. Was it 10,000 times a certain way and it hasn't worked, but it's the fact I found it one that does. That's what matters." So I really want people to look at this company page as something they're going to try and experiment with, see where it takes them. And I'd love to hear feedback. If anyone gets some benefit out of some of the tips we've got tonight, I'd love to hear success stories, or even if it's a challenge, just what helped you get to the next level. So, yeah, but I'm happy to hear the positive feedback.
Pauline have a success story. Pauline have a success story. She's already claimed her LinkedIn page. Yay.
There you go. I had to put out the positive love, and she picked it up and ran away with it. Well done, Pauline. Good work. Thomas Edison. Thanks, Roger. So, yeah.
There you go.
So
perfect.
Fantastic. Thanks again, Jan. It's been fun. Really enjoyed it.
Thank you so much, guys. Light bulb guy. Here we go. Thank you so much, guys, for joining us tonight. Great energy, great questions, and I hope to see you in the upcoming weeks as well. Big thank you to Chris for joining us tonight and give all these great tips and really specific tips. That's what we like, really specific and practical. And again, thank you so much. And I hope you're enjoying the freedom in Melbourne as well.
Okay, guys.
Thank you, guys.
Thanks,
See
Jana.
you.